Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. This time it's of the all-terrain portable charger from myCharge. As you may have guessed, this is a USB power bank. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows what a USB power bank is, and a lot of you might be even asking, why is he even doing this video? I mean, we all know what these things are. And actually, I'm glad you asked, because today I was at the gas station and while paying for my gas at the register next to the candy, the smokes, the lottery tickets, etc., there was a whole box full of USB power banks. Not this particular model here that I'm showing you, but these were the cheaper ones. And I got to thinking, geez, you know, these used to be kind of cool. No one ever heard of them. Now they're everywhere. You can't go anywhere without finding these. And if you were looking for something like this back, just, a few years ago, I actually have one of my older ones right here. So as you can see, this is what you had before, and this was one of the better ones, by the way. And it was during the here. I'll give you a time reference. This is mini USB. Yes, this is even before micro USB, and definitely before Type C. And there were so many different plugs. It seemed like the industry hadn't really agreed on what type of plug we were going to use for most of our devices. So they had to have a setup like this, where you get the device, and there'd be like 5 of these different little plugs in here, and you pick the one that matched your phone, and you will go ahead and connect it and use it. And there were 4 different kits. They all had this, but there was 4 different kits, and the difference was what ones of these little tips were included. And now you think lithium batteries? No, these are AA's. So if you wanted lithium batteries, one of the only places you'd find those is something like this. You can tell this is from ways back. So yeah, my point is that we take it for granted now, but it wasn't always in a convenient package like this here. And this is actually why I'm doing this video, because I want to know, now that these have become so commonplace, is there a company out there that's actually going to take the time and effort to make a good quality one? It seems like the trend is just to make them super cheap, because you don't have to woo the customer anymore. They know what they are, they're going to need them, they're just going to go get it. So what's the point of making a good one? Just give them a cheap one, like I saw today. So let's see if this is actually ranges in the good quality one, right? And there might even be cool features, something for bonus. Anyway, so let's look at the packaging. Already you can tell this is quite many steps above those ones I was talking about earlier at the gas station. And you can see this particular one here is IP68 rated. So for those who don't know what that means, essentially it means the 6 means it's dust proof, and the 8 means you can dunk it in water to depths over a meter, and you can leave it in there for over 30 minutes, pull it out, and everything should be fine. So, okay, yeah. And also it seems to be, they claim to be drop proof, probably due to this extra shell casing they have around it, which looks actually very slick. I like that. Anyway, it seems to have a 2x extra battery. I'm not sure if that means it's twice as the charge it used to have, or an earlier model, or not. But anyway, moving on, here it says that it charges all smartphones, tablets, and wearables, and we'll get into why it charges pretty much any device, as they kind of illustrate here with all the different types of devices you can charge. And the reason why is because, looking at the back, you can see here that it has essentially a female standard USB port. So you can, whatever phone or device you have, you just have to have the cable and plug that in here, and you're good to go. It looks like this particular thing is charged by, I'm assuming, micro USB, but whatever it is, that recharge cable is included. So it looks to me to look like kind of like a lighter, and it has that flip top. There's probably a seal in there. Of course, we'll see that later. But just to show you here on the back, it lists out some of the features. Importantly, down here, you can see that the battery is a 3,350 milliamp per hour. It has an input of 2.4 amps, and then its output is 2.4 amps. So, all right. And in case I'm missing it, nope. And this particular package, yes, you know how much I like these packages that open up to reveal the actual device, and there it is. So I like very sniffy packaging. Oh, and it even has magnetic closure. So that's cool. And there's also a little picture up here. It kind of goes, so as I suspected, there you plug it in the top there, and it just shows you things, again, waterproof, temp proof, dirt proof, and shock proof. Okay, and looking here, not only is this you can see inside, but unlike some packages that have a clear piece of plastic over here, this actually has this kind of, you can see how the plastic is actually around the device itself, giving it kind of more of a three-dimensional thing. view. Okay. Alright, so without further ado, I'm going to open this up. Okay, so it had a little one of those circle stickers on here holding this to keep it closed. I've already taken that off. Okay. Retail hanger. Looks like the item is on a tray. Pull that out. Attempt to pull it out. Okay, so on the tray you have the item behind it, the lanyard, and the supplied cable to charge the actual device, which, as I guessed, is micro USB. Okay. On the back, there's an extra feature I didn't talk about on the front, on the box from the outside. It looks like it has a LED battery meter to tell how much charge you have left, and that's cool. Okay, so I guess that's your instructions, kind of this one card. You don't think you need many more than that, right? And then, whoa, okay. Yes, okay, so the surface is, it does have, definitely has this rubber shell, and the rubber is, it's pretty dense, but you can push it in, and it does spring back, so, yep. And then this is, okay, it looks like the LEDs are something that you have to push, and then it displays, shines through this membrane back here. I'm guessing, I haven't done it yet, of course. And on the bottom, alright, close there. That's where the lanyard goes. And, alright, so we'll see how, okay, we have this little clasp here, which appears to be metal. Yeah, feels like metal. Okay, so swing that down, pop the top here. Okay, and yes, you might have heard this is sealed. It doesn't seem to have like a washer. It just seems, if you look in there, it has little ridges on that lid, which seem to hold tight to there. And of course, well, when this keeps it closed, right? But okay, and there on top, female USB and female micro USB. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and charge it. Alright, so I went ahead and charged it. It didn't take too long, but that's probably because this was, according to the LED bar, this was 75% charged out of the box. Now, speaking of those lights, and if you want to check how much battery power you have left, you just push anywhere in this depression, and there you go. So you can see this is fully charged, 4 out of 4. And alright, so as far as the weight goes, this is 0.2 pounds. It's not light by any means, but it's also not too heavy. If you do have this hanging off of like your belt or whatever, you are going to know it's there, especially when it swings back and forth. But in some way, the weight kind of really goes along with the whole rugged feel. When you feel this, you feel like there's something of substance there. And again, this has 3,000 plus milliamps, as where other smaller, lighter ones do not have that capacity. Okay, so now we're talking about the ruggedness. So if you just drop it, I mean, it makes exactly the sound and acts just like you think it would. Okay, so, it feels pretty sturdy, and this this rubber shell, as you can see, it kind of absorbs the shock. But probably the more entertaining test to watch would be this one here, which you can guess what I got this cup of water here for, a glass of water. And we're going to go ahead and test that 8 of the IP68 rating. Of course, this isn't a meter plus deep, but for this, I think will be good enough to showcase if it's going to fail when it gets submerged in water. So make sure that you have this closed, which, as you can see, it is now. I'm going to go ahead and dunk it in there. Okay. Let it sit for a little later and pull it out. Okay. Quickly dry it off. It's really easy to dry off. Most of the water runs off just by the nature of the surface material here, so you don't really have to do much to dry it off, but just to make sure, do that. Okay. So there you go, and get this water out of here. Okay, now, moment of truth. Open the little there. Yep, see, no water. Okay, but now will it work? So what I do here is I have my smartphone, so I'll go ahead and plug in my cable. Connect to my phone. Push the button. So there you go. So you can see it is in fact charging. So it works. Alright, so one last test I wanted to do with this is I have this little gadget here that has a readout of like volts and whatnot for whatever it's plugged into. So why not try it with this thing? So go ahead, push it in there, boom, we have 5.07 volts coming out. So, okay, it's working, but we pretty much knew that from the cell phone test that I did prior. So, okay, with that, I'll move to the conclusion on this. Straightforward device. Would I recommend it? Yeah, if you need this amount of ruggedness on your little portable charger design. It's a slick design. It kind of has a tactical look to it. I like this LED feature, and also it actually feels good to grip. So kind of a little stress reliever on top of it. Okay, so but for daily carry, unless you're doing something outdoors and rugged where it has to be able to take abuse, most people would probably go with something like this. Very slim and a lot more pocket friendly. You can slip this in the breast pocket of a dress shirt, as were this, yeah, not so much. The one thing I wish they did a little bit better on this would be up here. This clasp is pretty much the all-important clasp since it closed the lid. And if you look here, although this material is slip resistant, if this little clasp gets knocked off of this very small perch, can you even see it there, how small that little perch is, that little ledge? If that gets knocked off, well then this lid can come open, and then there goes any waterproofing that you might have. So, if this ledge would even extend out a little more, or if there was some little mechanism that came down over the top and buttoned or whatever, then I would really feel confident in this ability to stay waterproof. But if you do close it, and make sure you push that tight so there's no gap there. It seemed to at least to pass the cup test, right, with the water.